So you want to become an elite defensive back, right? Get asked that question a lot. Today we're going to talk about the 3 things every elite defensive back should have in his toolbox on DB Tip Clips. That's a big question I get asked a lot. How can I become a better defensive back? And I'm always at a loss in answering that question because a lot of times I just need film so I can watch some of the things that are going on and perhaps give a guy some tips. However, without seeing any of that, there are 3 things I know that you are going to absolutely need to have if you want to become a big-time elite defensive back. Number 1 is going to be a short memory. If you want to dwell on the last play that just happened, if it wasn't a good one for you, I'm here to tell you, you're not going to last long at this position. I don't care who you are, how elite you may be, how good you think you are going to get beat playing this position. If you take enough snaps and you play against good enough competition, which is what you will need to do to become elite, you are going to experience getting beat. Now, I'm not just talking for a 5 or a 10-yard play. You'll get beat for the big one, 40, 50, 60 yards. At some point, it's going to happen. It happened to Dion. It happened to Revis. It's happened to any of the guys that you think or know are elite. Go out there, watch the tape. You'll find them getting beat deep. What needs to happen, though, if you're going to be that elite defensive back, like Dion, like Revis, like Sherman, like Ramsey or Peterson or any of the guys that may be your favorites, is that you've got to take that play that was negative, cut it right out of the way, and say in your mind, hey, that guy just got lucky. After all, if you're going against great competition, those guys are good too. They're going to get theirs every now and then. What needs to happen is you got to move on to the next play because it is coming and you're going to need to make a play. And what you'll often see out of some of those elite defensive backs is soon after getting beat, they'll come right back and make a play. There's only one way that happens, is that they have a very short memory about the negative things that happen to them out on the field. They realize that that's part of playing the position. Just like playing quarterback, you know you're going to get hit. Now imagine if a quarterback, the first time he got hit, started worrying about getting hit every play after that. Would he be a good quarterback? Would he be able to deliver the ball? Will he be able to make passes on time? He wouldn't. Well, that's the same thing for you now playing defensive back. Those big plays will happen. You can call it a fluke, whatever the case may be. Once it's over, you're on to the next play. And one of the good things, if there are any good things about getting beat for the big one at defensive back, it makes the quarterback think that he can go there again. You know what that is? That's another opportunity for you. So when that next time comes along, if you can free your mind of what happened in a negative sense in that last play and focus on what's happening now on this play, you have a chance to make yourself a big play, and now you can get all the accolades that come along with that, and you'll have a reason to cheer and something to cancel out the bad play that happened earlier. They come again, you can get yourself another play. You can walk out of a game where you gave up a 60-yard touchdown, but you had 2 interceptions, simply by having a short memory. So one of the things you're going to need if you're going to be an elite defensive back is have yourself a short memory. The second thing you're going to need to have is a competitive spirit, and that kind of goes hand in hand with number 1. All right, you're going to be out there competing, and you have got to want to go up against the best that there is out there. So when you're going up against a good team that has a good wide receiver, you don't want to shy away from that challenge. If the coach offers up for you to go follow that guy around, then you absolutely go do that. Matter of fact, you should be asking for it. And if it falls within the game plan, you should definitely embrace that situation where you are going to be mano-a-mano against another great player. And a competitive spirit will keep you in the mind frame of trying to win when you're going up against one of these big time guys. If you don't have that competitive spirit, you're just going to sit around worrying about getting beat. A competitive spirit puts you in the mind frame of, hey, listen, he might get his, but I'm definitely going to get mine. And that competitive spirit has to spill into almost everything that you do. It's not just at playing cornerback. It's not just in football. It's got to be in everything. Academics, board games, video games, whatever the case may be. And that's something that can be developed. Start getting a winning attitude every time you play a game or you're in any kind of competitive situation. You develop that mindset, and it's something that will be even more heightened in this thing that you care about, which is playing defensive back. Once you take that mindset with you out onto the field, you'll notice that you start making more and more plays. You stand up more in the games where you're going up against really, really great competition, whether that's an entire team or it just happens to be a wide receiver that is known to be very, very good. If you have an extreme competitive spirit that you have developed, you will see yourself be able to go pound for pound, battle for battle, play for play with that big time competition. You start doing that enough, people start to take notice, and then you won't even have to call yourself elite. Other people will do that. But a competitive spirit is something that can definitely be developed, but it's not something that you just confine to playing defensive back and playing football. Become competitive in everything where there's a measurement, where you're ranked or anything like that. Some may call it obsessive, some may think you're over the top, but you know what? People who have a competitive mind spirit tend to be ones who accomplish more in life. So develop that competitive mind spirit, because you're definitely going to need it on the field when you're in those big time games against big time wide receivers. And the final thing that you'll notice that all big time elite defensive backs, whether it's safeties or corners or nickelbacks or anyone of that nature, one of the things that you know every last one of them have had is great instincts. You can't just be out there on athleticism alone. Sure, that'll help you be one of the best guys when you're in Little League football, or maybe you can get by in high school with that. But by the time you start getting to college and then into the NFL, just being the best athlete is not going to be enough, because everyone's a great athlete as you start to get to those upper levels. What separates the good from the great are the guys that have great instincts. That's why you'll notice that a lot of guys who played defensive back, cornerback, or safety, they were at one time they were a quarterback. And that allowed them to understand how offenses work, what the quarterback may be thinking, the way routes are run, and they just kind of have a knack for where the ball is going to go. They have great instincts from having played on that side of the ball. Now, if you weren't a quarterback or you didn't play offense, doesn't mean you can't have great instincts. It just means you're going to have to put some more time into studying offense, how they work, and if you watch enough film and you study enough offenses, things just start to happen in your mind as you see a play unfold. That's the IQ part of it. You got to have that little savvy and that knack for knowing where that quarterback's going to go with that ball, where it's going to end up, and you'll just find yourself moving in position to go make those plays and be where the ball is going to be. And once that IQ gets rolling, it's not just interceptions. You just happen to be around when a ball gets fumbled. You just happen to know how to stick a hand into a guy's basket and get in there and knock a ball out. And plays just start coming your way. It's funny what starts to happen as you start studying the game. Just cerebrally, in the back of your mind, something happens and you just start moving to where the ball is going to be, and you just find it easier and easier to make plays. The only way that's going to happen, though, is by you studying. So if studying is a cuss word for you, it's going to be a little hard for you to have that great instincts. But if you want to apply yourself and start watching offenses, start studying quarterbacks and receivers and how that whole thing works, and make it a hobby out of it, then you'll start to notice that your instincts will go up and you'll start to make those plays more and more and more and more. Virtually all of the great defensive backs I've ever observed or I've been around have been guys that have great football instincts. And so that's the Deion Sanderses, the Ed Reeds, all of those guys, great instincts. For as athletic as Deion Sanders was, if you really sit here, he's even a coach now, and that just lets you know something. He was really into the game and how it worked. So it wasn't just about the fact that he ran a 4.2 40 and that he could dunk a basketball. It was that he really understood what the offense was trying to do. And by the way, Deion Sanders was a quarterback in high school. Granted, it was probably option, but you listen, if you're a quarterback, you're in charge of that whole thing and you know how offenses work. So you've got to develop your football IQ. That's going to put you in position to make the big plays and become that elite defensive back that you want to be. Now, are there other aspects to playing defensive back? Absolutely, and we'll talk about them, and I have talked about them at great length in other videos and in articles that I've written on my blog, which you should be visiting, by the way, on a regular basis, alliesdbcamp.com. I have even more on this particular topic, plus a score of other topics, and you should consider joining my members area while you're there. I've got drills, I've got coverages explained, all kind of DB tips and things to make you elite. Now, there are other parts to being great at defensive back, but these are three things that I've absolutely noticed that all the big time defensive backs have. They've got a short memory, they have a competitive spirit, and they all have great football IQs. All right, here's something great that I want you to do. If you enjoyed this video and it helped you out, do me a favor, share the video, like the video, and by all means, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so that you're notified the next time I put out a great defensive back video or anything on recruiting that can help you. Would greatly appreciate that. And then also check out the link below to my blog and as well as my members area that, as I spoke about, has a ton, over 100 videos in there that can help you get better at your game and excel your game to the next level. All right? Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. And until next time, all eyes DB Camp, consistency breeds results.